Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving and living life to the fullest, right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving and living life to the fullest, right smack dab in the midst of it. So we are talking about the family aspect as far as how to keep your family together to set yourselves up for great success so that you can survive the onslaught of sickness and disease and move into thriving, right? So we talked about blaming, right? I know it wasn't an easy word to hear. It's a hard word to live out, but I'm telling you, it's a good word. And if you apply it to your life, it will help you. We all fail at it sometimes. Even when we're applying, we do good and then we fall off the train, but get back on it and keep working on it, okay? Because forgiveness is huge and we need to learn to forgive each other when we say things we don't mean. I want to talk to you today about deferring. The Bible talks about he who tries to save his life will lose his life, right? And if you're willing to sacrifice your life and give up your life, you will gain your life in return. We found that to be true. We have found that to be true. And I want to share with you how we found that to be true, but more so that principle of that, because it will help you and your family and your household to be able to stick together instead of pull apart, to be able to love each other and grow together instead of fighting, right? And to come out on the other side with less damage, right? It's still going to cause some damage, but less damage, okay? It is true that I can be trying to love you and you can be trying to love me and we bump heads, trying to love each other. That's why I say less damage. It doesn't mean that we're not going to hurt each other bumping heads in us trying to love each other. Does that make sense? Okay. So how do you give your life? Be willing to give it and risk your life and save your life all at the same time, right? If it's better for the one, if it's the one who tries to save it loses their life, and the ones who's willing to give it get it, how does that work? Well, can I tell you how it worked for me? Okay. So it's not easy, y'all, talking about this stuff. In my household, the way that it worked was this. Y'all know, and for those of you who haven't heard, you can go back and look at old stuff, but I was trapped in my body. I couldn't breathe. My skin was translucent. I couldn't move. I was bedridden for many years. I was passing out all over the place. I was in pain 24/7. There's a lot. There's a lot more than that, but I don't want to talk about it. I'm just grateful to get through it, right? But in what I was going through, the reason it would have been easy for me to quit. It would have been easy to just say, okay, and go be with Jesus, right? Because it was a lot of suffering and it was not easy at all. My motivation for fighting, for staying here, for doing the things that I needed to do, changing the way I eat, to being disciplined, and my health in the middle of all of that fight to stay here on this earth. My prayer, my heart, my motivation behind my fighting was I had a whole bunch of babies and I had a husband that I love. And I had to fight hard for my marriage. And I don't want nobody reaping that benefit. And I had to fight hard to have those kids. And it was a faith walk to just get them to existence, right? And I knew they needed a mother. I knew the good things and the benefits and the qualities my husband had to share with the children, but I also knew what I had to share. And they needed what I had, the impartation that I had. I also wanted to show my children, because I am a woman of faith, I wanted to show them how to live by faith and how to walk it out. And I wanted them to see God and know that the word works. That may not be your motivation, but I'm telling you it was mine. And it still is. And so because of that, I was willing to fight. I was willing to fight to stand here. And y'all can go back and watch the videos on hold on, when my husband was telling me just to hold on for another minute. And those motivations and reasonings and purposes within me helped me to fight on every level. Not just in life and death situations or in long periods of bedridden and suffering, but also when I'm up and I'm doing a little better, it helps me to fight to get out of the bed every day. It helps me to fight to do. Okay? So for me, that meant that there were certain things that doctors wanted me to do that I was not going to do at that time. That meant for me, and I'm not telling you that, I'm telling you my story. That meant for me there were things that I had to do that were harder and caused more suffering, but I was fighting for the benefit of my family. Okay? Lord, help people to hear and see. Help them to receive it right. Help them to hear it right, Father. Now, for my husband, that was hard for him to have a whole bunch of babies, a young wife who's in a fight for her life, to still have to pay bills, he had to do everything for everyone in our family. Okay, so he has a sick wife to take care of. He got diapers to change, babies he's teaching to walk, others learning to tie their shoe, right? And so everybody, you got to feed them. You got to do the grocery shopping. You got to bring home the bacon and prepare it too. He had to do everything, and you're fighting doctors, and you're researching, trying to keep her alive, and you're paying for non-traditional medicine as well as traditional medicine, and he's in a fight. He was willing, right, to sacrifice his joy, his pleasures, his everything for his family at that time. But also during that time, we had to make decisions like, do we pay the rent? Do you pay your mortgage? Do you pay your car note? Do you pay your electricity and your water? Do you pay your bills? Do you take your wife to go get this treatment that's going to help keep her alive because the doctor says she ain't going to make it another day? And my husband chose to put everything towards keeping me alive. We wanted to pay our bills, yes. We wanted to do the things that we had to do. He still tried to do as much as he could do, but at the end of the day, the focus was, I need to get her what she needs. I need to get her to where she needs. So he laid it down for me. If I did not make it, his life and our children's life would have been in a whirlwind, because there's a slew of bills that hadn't been paid. Credit got destroyed, right? But he chose instead to say, only have one wife. There's only one of you. You can't be replaced. I'm going to give everything I got towards you. So he laid down his businesses. He laid down his career, right? He laid down how people thought of him, what people saw of him. He didn't mind if we lost. He didn't mind if we lived lowly. He really didn't care. He gave everything to me. All time, all attention to me. And he had to change from what he was doing to try to do things in other ways so he could sit by my side, tend to me, and make money at the same time. So he gave of himself, and he let his life go. He didn't care what people thought. He let all them pretensions go to take care of me, because he valued me and said, I can't replace you. I can get another car, get another house. I can rebuild the career. I can rebuild the business. I can't get back. My children had to forego a lot of things. There were seasons when they couldn't go outside and play. There were times when they wanted to be held and couldn't. They had to forego having their mom for 6 months at a time. and not complain. I told you guys about when my children came and said, and I was not wanting to be here no more. And it was really hard to say, I'm not going to get up and do something to end this. And my babies walked in a little pack at the foot of my bed one day, and they were crying, and they said, Mama, we don't care if you can't get out the bed. They said they didn't care if I couldn't get up and do all the stuff. They just wanted me to live. They just wanted to have me. They didn't care if I couldn't move. Just don't leave us. And so they were willing to sacrifice a lot of their childhood. And even now they're a little older, there's a lot of things that they can be doing. But they sacrifice a lot for me. They give up a lot to be there for me and to take care of me. So why am I sharing all of that with you? Because that is how my family, that's how my husband, and that's how my children, a little bit of how, because I can't tell you it all, we are willing to give up our lives, give up ourselves for each other. Now, if your family's going to make it out of this, you guys, and you guys are going to stay together, you got to give of yourself. You got to be willing to lay down what people think about you. Lay down your ambitions, your goals, your success, your level of living. I mean, are you willing to just eat rice and chicken quarters for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, so all money can go towards your family? Are you willing to not have electricity sometimes so that your family member can live? But because we were all loving each other, because we were all willing to sacrifice for each other, we became closer, bounded together. And because everyone was willing to do what they did, even in the bed, unable to move, I was taking care of my husband. I was taking care of my children the best that I could. I might not be able to get up to make sure that when my husband got home, everything was for him, but I could lay in the bed and say, can you get this and lay this out? Can you do that so when your daddy get home, to make it easy for him? And in turn, he can make sure, look, I made this for you. Can you put this next to the bed so when your mama make up, I gotta run to the grocery store, but make sure she get this. And the kids sit next to the bed to make sure I got it. Right? So when you're loving each other, everybody's covering for each other, your family's gonna make it through. If I give up taking care of myself, I'm willing to give up taking care of myself to take care of my husband and my children. They're willing to give up themselves to take care of me. We all taken care of. Is it easy? Nope. Is it weighty? Yes. Will it hurt? Yes. Will people tell you you're stupid and crazy, you need to take care of yourself? Yes. I heard it all. But my family is closer than all get out. We are bonded together with the blood of Jesus. It's better than Gorilla Glue. And we made it from surviving into thriving and living life to the fullest. Too many families break up because of health issues. Yours don't have to be one of them. Hope something in my story you can abstract and use for your life, and it will help you. Remember, in all things and in everything, especially when you're dealing with health issues, do you be who God called you to be. Be the authentic you that you are. Until next time, bye.